Welcome back to the Real Joseph Lamtman. I am Joseph Lamtman. It is game week, week one of the NFL season. Mike and I are fired up today. Welcome back to the Real. If you're new here, hit the like button for everybody. Hit the like button right now. It really helps me out with the algorithms. Help your boy out. Just hit that like button. It's a simple thing. Just a little tap on the like button. You haven't subscribed yet? Subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate that. Yeah, football loaded show today. So if you're here for sometimes in my podcast, I talk mainly about mental health, my experience with anxiety and panic, spiritual stuff as well. Go check out my last two episodes after this one. Some really good stuff there. But today, a football loaded show. Week one of the NFL is here. We're also going to talk some college football this past weekend. Real quick at the beginning of the show, we're going to talk about some Ohio State with Kyle McCord and what's going on there. And we're also going to talk about Colorado, and that's where I want to start is with Colorado. Real quick before I bring Mike up here. I want to give my take real quick on Colorado. I think that was one of the best games I've watched in a long time. Versus TCU Saturday, their win 45-42 on the road at TCU. Deion Sanders' first game as head coach of Colorado, they get the win. I thought Colorado really impressed me a lot. I thought they would be really good. I thought they'd be better than Vegas had them at 3 wins going into the year. I thought that was kind of not a bad prediction. I thought they would be at least a 7-8 win team. After what I saw Saturday, from how good Shedeur Sanders looked, the quarterback, how good Travis Hunter is, who might be the best player in the country, by the way, how good Jimmy Long is the receiver, Dylan Edwards the running back, the defense has a lot to improve on, but just the whole team is the way they played and stepped up. The kicker knocking down almost a 50-yard field goal at halftime. And just the way that the swagger of the team, how Coach Prime, the coaching staff, Coach Lewis, the former Kent State head coach, did a hell of a job with his play calling Saturday. I think Colorado could easily win 9-10 games the rest of the year. I think the way their schedule looks, I think there's some games they're going to really shock. I think they'll beat USC. I think that might shock some people. I think there's a couple games I think they could lose, but I think they can win 9-10 games, which is really impressive for a team that was 1-11. That he takes them over. And does that. But I think that team, the game I saw Saturday was one of the best just team performances I've seen in a long time in terms of just spirit and just swagger. Just a great game, fun game to watch. The guy that impressed me the most, I knew Travis Hunter was a bad dude because I remember watching him in high school. He was doing a lot of same stuff in high school. Now when you actually see him though on this level now, not at Jackson State, you can see how good of a player he really is. But I thought Shedeur Sanders, to me, I didn't know he was that good. Like just the way he was sitting in the pocket, reading the field. Every throw was accurate. Even the misses he had were accurate. Just a phenomenal player. Phenomenal. Going to be a hell of a first round pick, I think. And whenever he's eligible for the draft, if he keeps this up, I think he's 6'2". He has the perfect mechanics, everything, and he scans the field really well. Now, Travis Hunter is probably the best. Like I said, I think Travis Hunter might be the best player in America. That guy is unbelievable. Does he play corner, wide receiver at the next level? I don't know. Maybe just play him. He's the next Deion Sanders. That's what he is. That's why he plays for Deion. Just leave it at that. And Dylan Edwards, phenomenal player. And shout out to Savion Washington, former Cuyahoga Falls, Mike and I's hometown. Had a great game as well at right tackle. Had a great double team, pancake blocks. Was opening up some holes for the touchdowns even. Shout out to Savion. But that's my take on that. And when it comes to Ohio State, that'll be the second part I'll talk about with Mike. I'm sure I know a lot of people are disappointed. Kyle McCord wasn't the best game at all. And I'm not gonna be one of these people that are like, doomsday or fans are saying Kyle McCord's terrible. But there's a lot he has to improve on. I still want to see Devin Brown. I still think Devin Brown could very well be the starter by Notre Dame if there's an open competition. Now Ryan Day said today that that's still the plan, and that Devin Brown's going to play this week more, and that he said he didn't play as much last week because of the snap counter. Nobody knew Indiana's going to run triple option either, so I think that kind of messed with the flow of the game because that does slow down the game a lot, and it takes up a lot of plays. But the defense is elite. Defense is really good. I'm not worried about the defense at all. The offense, on the other hand, again, I'm rooting for Kyle McCord because I'm an Ohio State fan, and I think Kyle's a nice kid. But He's got to be able to throw the ball better than 10 yards down the field. Did not look good there. There was just a lot of things you're kind of like, I know there was a lot of people saying, well, CJ Stroud, his first game wasn't great, but CJ Stroud's first game, the second half, CJ Stroud was lights out. He threw 4 touchdowns, was averaged like 13 yards to throw. CJ Stroud was, you knew by game one in that second half that, okay, this guy's going to be okay. And he came back the next week, they were almost 500 yards against Oregon. They just had a horrible defense that year. But Stroud was different. Fields was different. I didn't see that from McCord on Saturday. And that's just my take as an observer. And so that's why I want to see Devin Brown, because I believe Devin Brown, his abilities and the talent, what I've heard from camp and the highlights, I think he has more of an it factor. And he's more athletic. He can run better. I think he fits the offense better if it wants to be more dynamic. I could be wrong. I just want to see it. No, I think McCord will be better next week because they are playing Youngstown State. So I think he'll be better. But what I saw Saturday, I have a lot of question marks about the rest of this season. That team Saturday is a 8-9 win team this year, best. If you look at their schedule, that team will not beat Notre Dame if they play like that on the road. Sam Hartman's a really good quarterback, could be a first rounder. I don't think they would beat Notre Dame. I don't know if they beat Wisconsin on the road. I don't know if they beat Penn State, who Drew Aller, Medina High School alum, looked phenomenal in his first game for Penn State. And then they definitely don't beat Michigan on the road playing like that. So that's at 8-14 right now, maybe 9-3 at best if they keep playing like that. A lot of it do because of the quarterback. And I think I'm going to get Mike's take on this. I'm curious what Mike has to say. But my biggest concern was the body language from the offensive players Saturday. They looked like a bunch of guys. You saw a lot of receivers like Marvin Harrison running real lazy routes. I didn't think Marvin Harrison had a great game either. He was kind of letting himself get shoved out of bounds and stuff. He needs to, be a little better as well. I know a lot of people are hyping him up going into the year, but you still have to play better. But I'm worried about the offensive unit because the body language looked like there was a lack of confidence in the quarterback, and that's concerning. And so hopefully they can galvanize it this week and clean it up. And we see Devin Brown play more than 6 useless snaps because the 3 snaps they brought him in for was terrible play calling. 2 handoffs and power I and 12 personnel and 2 tight ends. And then there was the quarterback draw, and there was a huge missed block assignment on that play from the inside guard. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned about Ohio State right now, and I'm really the next 2 weeks, and who would have thought that versus cupcake teams can really dictate the rest of the season how it's going to go. Because not because of they're going to lose the games, they're going to beat these teams obviously, but it's the mood and morale of the team that's what sets you up for the rest of the year. And so these next 2 weeks, how they respond and how we figure out this quarterback thing is going to be very crucial for Ryan Day and for the whole staff and for the whole team. And so I got a little more to say, but I want to get Mike's take on this. My main man, Mike Antonace.
What's up?
What's up, brother? Welcome back to the Real. How you doing?
I am great. It's game week. NFL football is back. I'm excited to watch Thursday night football, even though I could care less about either teams. It's still going to be fun to watch, and so hyped for Sunday. This week can't go by fast.
I can't believe it's already here. I know it
I
seems
know.
kind of long, but it seems also kind of fast in a way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like when you get to the game week, you're like, damn, it's already next September again. We're here. I remember last year we were getting ready for the Panthers game week 1.
Yeah, I
That
know. It's
doesn't seem that
crazy.
far away. Like not
Time
more.
flies
This year's a much better situation, obviously, but
much.
and they also Friday night, Mike came over. It was my birthday. I want to give a shout out to our main man Jeremy Lynch for putting on a performance for everybody. That was a hell of a performance by Jeremy. Mike got to see it firsthand. I had a fun time Friday, Mike, as we get ready for the season. We had the guys get together. We're doing Sunday lives this year, post game reactions. So we all wanted to get together and kind of get ready for the season because it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a fun one, but it's going to be a long one. So, but we'll start here, Mike. Let's start with Colorado. What was your take with college football this week in general, but particularly Colorado? You heard what I had to say about it, and I'm really high on Shedeur Sanders right now. I think he has the potential to be a first-round pick after that if he keeps this up. But what was your take on Saturday?
I mean, you know me, I'm not the biggest college football guy, but I did watch a lot of college football. this past week, and what I saw out of Colorado was super super fun to watch. I thought Travis Hunter was an absolute just dog. Like I can't tell you the last time I've seen a guy play 110 snaps at corner and wide receiver and make both positions look easy. And I know they're playing TCU, and
In
it's just
115
college, but
degree heat too, by the way.
yeah, right. It was a
That
hot
was
day.
impressive. As a former player
Yeah, so
at any level, in any sport, to play in that kind of heat outdoors and play that many snaps and that at that level is highly impressive. But sorry, I had to mention that.
no,
Had
you're
to say
fine.
it.
It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not as high as on Shador yet. I mean, if he keeps it up, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as Ohio State goes, I'm right there with you. With like, I'm not a doomsday like, oh, Kyle McCord's trash. He didn't look bad in the second half. He had some throws that were decent. Cade Stover had an excellent game. Um, I think we'll see as the season progresses, like what they do, what they go with. But it's always going to be a soft rebuild year. I mean, you lose your two starting tackles in DeJuan Jones and Paris Johnson. You lose your starting quarterback and CJ Stroud. Obviously, you're going to have a few hiccups here and there, but I'm not too worried about Ohio State. I think it'll all shape up here within the coming weeks.
My
But
only concern is, and I mentioned this to you, um, I part of me wonders if this is Ryan Day's last year. I know this is kind of off the rails a little bit, but I'm gonna say it. I think part of this might be Ryan Day's last year. I think Ryan Day is, I know, is considered going to the NFL for a long time. Ryan Day's from the same hometown as a lot of my family, Dover, New Hampshire. It's a very tight, small knit community, and I do know Ryan has been always. Every coach wants to go to the NFL and coach because obviously you get paid the most. So,
yeah,
um, I do think Ryan. And the reason why I bring this up is because I do know the McCord. I think Kyle McCord has always had a really good relationship with the Days. And I do know Ryan likes Kyle, and so I wonder if it just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem like Devin Brown's getting the fair shot to play yet. And so it makes me start to question as a fan, as an observer, what's really going on here? Because there's Ryan Day really should have put Devin Brown in the second quarter after those couple drives on last week's game. If there really is like an open competition, like he's saying, how come Devin Brown didn't get put in the game in the second quarter when shit was going south? You know what I mean? There's just a lot of weird question marks where you start to question. There's nothing wrong with questioning what's really going on here. Is this and that makes me start to wonder: is this Ryan's last year? Does he just kind of playing the guy he likes? Is he? I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm throwing out anything just because I just want to be.
right.
I want our team to win. I'm tired of
Yeah,
we need to win a national championship. We can't keep going on not winning with all the talent we keep bringing in every year.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, even the dogs got something to say about it too. What do you got to say about Molly?
Molly,
Yeah,
what do you got to say?
yeah.
Yeah,
She
I love
said
you
it was
too. Get
a
down.
bunch of crock too. So, but
But yeah, I mean, you know, I want to see what happens in the coming weeks. It's technically week 0, so you never know. But
yeah, I
I'm
think
excited.
the next couple
Yeah,
weeks are going to be crucial because whoever the starter is going into Notre Dame, that's going to be the guy probably for the rest of the year. So
right.
now Michigan did the same thing last year when they had Cade McNamara and JJ McCarthy. Cade McNamara started off the year out of seniority, and then eventually JJ took over because he was better. And so I think you could see that play out here. I do think because I truly do believe there's more upside to Devin Brown, and I think his abilities are much higher. I think Kyle showed some good arm talent, but I just don't know if Kyle. You just don't see the it factor yet. So
Right.
usually the other guys, CJ, you saw that right away. You saw that with Justin right away. You saw that with Dwayne Haskins right away. Even he was the first quarterback. Saturday was the first time in 6 years. The third time, the third time in the last 6 years that they didn't throw a passing touchdown in a game. And
Yeah,
two of
that's
those
weird.
games, the other two games were against Northwestern in the COVID year, and last year against Northwestern in damn near 70-mile-an-hour wind. So
But
not a good sign, not a good sign. Now, if Ryan Day, maybe it is his last year. I don't know. If it is his last year, then maybe Brian Hartline will take over Luke Fickell. I don't know. That's my opinion, but that's down the road. But do you think we'll see more Devin Brown this week? I hope we do. Ryan says we will. Do you think it'll actually happen in the next couple of weeks?
I mean, I think we will. I like to believe that he's telling at least a half truth, where like it's some sort of open quarterback competition. Obviously, they want to see a little bit more out of him. So, I mean, I'm hoping. I think we will, though.
I want to say one more take two on Ohio State because I'm more of a college guy than Mike is. But shout out to Chip Trainum, former Hovind alumni, had a hell of a game Saturday. I think Chip Trainum could very well be the running back one of this team. I'm not surprised by that because I've watched him back in high school. Yeah, I want to see more Chip Trainum. Maybe is starting at running. I know we have Travion Henderson, but I think Chip, some of the stuff he's doing is pretty impressive. I thought he was the best running back by far Saturday, so I want to see more of him. Not that that's a big concern, but the offensive line also, Mike, was not a great performance at all from the O-line. Obviously, you got a lot of rebuilding going on there. It's hard to rebuild O-lines, but hopefully they can turn it around because the running game hasn't been great. And the play calling Saturday was a little weird. It was a lot of power. I thought I was watching an NFL game at one point.
Right. About a power eye. But
so,
yeah, no, I think that'll get better with time. I mean, it's gotta. O-lines take a while to gel, and like we just talked about, like they're replacing two of their starting tackles, so it's going to take a minute.
Yeah. Now, what's your real quick before we move on to the big stuff, the NFL? What's your prediction for Colorado the rest of the year?
I think they could win 7 or 8 games. They're in a
If you had to
conference
give
that's
a
not
prediction,
super.
what's the number you would give?
8 wins. I'd say 8
8
wins.
wins. All right, I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go 9-3. I'm not gonna overreact. I'm gonna say 9-3, which is one more game than when I already predicted them. I'm gonna say 9 wins. And does Travis Hunter win the Heisman? I think maybe. Do you think Travis Hunter could win the Heisman?
I mean, he's definitely going to make it a fair point. I mean, if he wins the Heisman, when's the last time a non-quarterback has won the Heisman? It's been a couple years, hasn't it?
Been a while. I know Devontae Smith won it.
That's right. Devontae Smith won.
Yeah,
but it's been a couple years. I could definitely.
He's unique though because he plays both sides of the ball. He really impacts the whole game. So it's like if he keeps.
I am worried for that man's health.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know if you can. I mean, Prime said they're going to have a hot tub on the plane for him, so they better hot tub and a cold tub. Yeah, I don't think you can play him that many snaps the rest of the year. I don't think that's feasible from a physical standpoint. Personally, football is a abusive game. I don't think your body can handle that for 5-6 months.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing I'm worried about. And even the announcers were talking about it, like, "Oh my God, like how much more of this can you do?" And I just think, even if I'm Travis Hunter and I'm trying to win the Heisman, I'm trying to become a pick, I'm trying to make my money. Like, you're not going to make your money if you get hurt,
Right.
So, I wonder if he asks to be played less on one side of the ball. Maybe they're trying to figure out where he's more effective, and then they let him play that side more and takes less snaps on the other side, et cetera, et cetera. But if he keeps it up, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't win the Heisman or at least be one of the finalists for it.
I agree. But well, we're gonna take a quick 3-minute break. When we come back, Mike's gonna light up the show as Michael K. Cabot. And what you guys really came here for was for the Browns Bengals preview. We're also going to do a week 1 pick 'em as well. And Mike's got a pregame speech for the team he's going to give. He wants to really motivate the team. And it's going to be Mike's got you got a great speech, Mike, don't you?
I'm just going to be completely off the cuff. So ready.
Yeah, he's so ready.
Nothing.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Because people put labels on you, so sometimes people believe them. After a lot of, constantly people saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that," you'll never do this, you'll never be like that, whatever. Sometimes
I think this is
them.
important. I wrote this down right here. because this is key for people our age, especially somebody like me who's 23, single, is don't wear the labels the world might say you are. And, so people could tell me in my life, with some of the things in my personal life, obviously because we're good friends, but certain things maybe I haven't achieved yet because of what happened to me, just, because of circumstances. But if I were to keep wearing that label of I don't have X, Y, and Z yet, or, if I would go by the world standards and the pressure, and sometimes even your own family, and, he even said in the sermon earlier, he said, sometimes the wisest thing for you to do, nobody will agree with you. Literally nobody. And that could be it could be everybody around you. But as long as you listen to the voice, you can feel that conviction. Why should you be afraid? Why not? What's there to be? What I mean? That should give you somewhat of a confidence, and it's hard to do because when everybody around you is telling you what to do, you can start to wear I could have started to wear those labels and started to, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today, though. I can tell you that I'd be in a deep, deep hole. So I guess kind of what we talked about this in our last episode we did too, back I think it was like in October.
Yeah.
About being bold and courageous, and because that's really what it is. I think surrendering it takes a leap of courage, of faith, and so I guess kind of what are the things that have helped you in your past, or what some words of encouragement people out there, especially our age, watching about, being bold and courageous, and not wearing your past, not wearing the labels and all that.
It's something that's, it's easier said than done, but you definitely have to try to surrender. Surrender it all to God. Giving it to Him, laying at the foot of the cross, and just trusting Him through it all. Because people put labels on you, sometimes people believe them. After a lot of, constantly people saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that," you'll never do this, you'll never be like that, whatever. Sometimes you believe them, after hearing it enough, and then at the end of the day, it's just lies. But you have to trust that, Christ is going to set you free, as He said He will. You just got to take the first step and surrender it to Him first before He takes it. Because He's not going to do it forcefully. He's going to do it. He wants you to take the first leap of faith.
I think your mic's still muted, brother.
I was muted, folks. I forgot. Welcome back. Got my hater blockers on. Time for the Browns versus Bengals preview. Sorry, I had my mic muted. I forgot. New mic, by the way, so I'm getting used to it. But anyways, Mike, we're back for what we're here for today. The Browns versus Bengals preview. Week 1 is finally here. Mike is fired the hell up. I'm fired the hell up. Damn it, Mike. Just go ahead and take it. Go ahead, Michael K. Cap. Break it. Give us a quick preview. Give us your great preview.
Quick preview. All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. Cleveland Browns at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Week 1 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And guess what? We got a whole new defensive line. We got a whole new defensive coordinator, Deshaun Watson, full off season with his new receivers, Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore. We've got a brand new defensive scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have somebody outside of Myles Garrett that can get to double-digit sacks. We might have 4 to 5 people that can do that. This is going to be a game. This is going to be a game, and fun fact, the Bengals have never beaten the Browns at Cleveland Browns Stadium with Joe Burrow as their quarterback, and I hope he plays. Zach Taylor's trying to, play the poker face, I don't know if he's going to play. Let him play. We don't care. We don't care. Yeah, they added Orlando Brown. Who gives a shit? The fact of the matter is their O-line is still paper thin. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just scheme or what, but their O-line is bad. I think it's still going to be bad. I don't see any pluses there. Their secondary for the Bengals, way worse. They got Jordan Battle, Daxton Hill, and I think Taylor Rapp, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Somebody might correct me if I'm wrong. They signed somebody from the Rams. I can't remember their name. But their secondary, awful. Cheeto just got healthy. Eli Apple, gone. Cam Taylor-Britt could be good, but he's young. Who knows? I like their defensive line. But otherwise, oh my God. I think they're going to try and take away Chubb. I think they're going to try and make Deshaun prove that he's Deshaun again. And then once they get burned a couple times, I think they're going to try and figure out what to do from there. Because I think they're still going to game plan for Chubb first and foremost. But I'm just so fired up. I'm so ready. I think we're going to win. And I think it's going to be a statement game. And you know what? I'm just going to go into the goddamn rant right now because I'm talking about it. I need it. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, they hate you. They hate you. Myles Garrett, they hate you. The national media hates us. Who cares? Whoever was with us when we were 0-16, when we were 1-15, who the fuck was rooting for us? Oh, they're just the underdog. Oh, they're the little brother. Nobody's ever been with us. And now they hate us. They say you're going to win 6 games. They say you're going to win 7 games. They say you're going to be last in the division. This Sunday, prove to them they're wrong. Prove the national media they're wrong. Prove it to the Bengals and the Steelers and the Ravens that their time in the sun is up, and it's now time for their 10 years of darkness. This is Cleveland Browns Stadium now. The only energy you're getting is from the goddamn fans. It's the Browns' time to win the AFC North, to win the AFC, and to win the whole goddamn thing. Go Browns this Sunday. There's my speech. I got cheesy bread.
You gonna take a bite of that if you were the coach on the way out? All right, let's go, guys. Get a bite of my cheesy bread.
Called the Mike McCarthy special.
Shout out to Coach Antonace. Yeah, no, you made a lot of good points there. I think they're going to try to take away the run early because I think Stefanski, you want to get Deshaun comfortable early. It's his first real big game in 3 years. So, yeah, but I think they might. I think they will pay for it, Mike. I think there's going to be a deep shot early on. I think they're going to take a deep shot and score early in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. Maybe an Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Somebody's going to run a big, deep shot, and I think they're going to connect. I think they'll score early on. How healthy do you think Joe Burrow is going to be, Mike? Because he's just got back to practice. I don't think he's going to be 100%, obviously. He's still working through that injury. He's going to play. We know he's going to play. How does that affect him, though? I mean, he's a great player. Obviously, he's going to make great plays. But you got Myles Garrett, Darius Smith coming after you. How do you think that's going to hinder him in this game?
I think it's going to hinder him. I think they're going to try what they try. I don't think their game plan is going to change from how they usually play the Browns on offense or defense, like I was just talking about. I think they're going to try and get the ball out of Burrow's hands as quick as possible. I don't know, because the Bengals only in the second game last year started double teaming Myles. They generally, how their game plan works is they just are like, well, let Joe cook. We'll leave Myles one-on-one, which at the time it was Jonah Williams. I don't know if they feel more comfortable doing that now that they have Orlando Brown, who I think is an upgrade over Jonah Williams. Sorry, just dropped my phone out.
No. All right, good.
But it's okay. My earlobes aren't holding them. There we go.
Yeah, you're recovering from that pregame speech. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm breathing.
Yeah.
I'm straight. All right.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna change their game plan too much. I think even more so they're gonna emphasize getting the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands quickly. I think they might try and establish the run and test that defensive line and see how much better it is. But I think they're going to find very quickly that you're not going to be able to run on this team like you used to. And I think that's going to be detrimental.
They lost Samaje Perine to what are they? We're one deep now running back. Proven wise, Joe Mixon. Or did they bring somebody else in? Who's their running back room in Cincinnati? Joe Mixon and who else?
I don't even know. I think I know they drafted somebody whose name I can't remember.
So they drafted a rookie.
Right.
And Joe Mixon is consider him more of a tier 2 kind of guy.
Yeah. I mean, when he's completely healthy, he's a 1,000-yard back, but I don't know if that's because of people who are so scared of the play action with Joe Burrow or
He's not Nick Chubb. Okay, so they signed Demetric Felton. So they have Demetric Felton.
On the practice squad.
Okay. Travion Williams. Who else they got here? Chris Evans, Chase Brown.
Yeah.
Any of these guys sound familiar?
Chase Brown sounds familiar.
No?
I don't know. I really think they might try it with Joe Mixon, but like he's the bell cow back. He's the first, second, third down back. I really think they're going to try Chase a lot Brown of like plants.
Chase Brown's a rookie out of Illinois, so he might be the rookie you're thinking. But they got a lot of unproven guys. I mean, I think at least with Jerome Ford, Jerome Ford basically led an offense in college to the college football playoffs. I think I'm not worried about that. Plus, you got Nick Chubb. I'm really curious to see how the matchups with the corners and our receivers and our corners and their receivers, because we go about 4 deep now. We have 3 really good guys at corner, obviously. Denzel, who I think he's probably going to play in the concussion protocol.
50-50, right?
50-50. So you still got Greg Newsome. You still got Martin Emerson. I still think Cam Mitchell's going to be really good, the rookie. So that's what I'm really curious to see is that there and how they – I think we're going to take away the run. It's just I think how many – big plays do we give up? Do we give up? Because I do think Schwartz likes to be really aggressive at times, and I think sometimes you're going to give up a couple big plays. But when you got guys like Jamar Chase on the perimeter, how much are you going to give? How much are you going to take?
Right, and believe it or not, it's not the big plays I'm worried about. It's this Schwartz's scheme is very much weak to like the screen game, which the Bengals don't do a whole hell of a lot. So I don't know if they try and incorporate a little bit of that, just because of how that Y9 is. Like you're getting all that pressure, which causes your D lineman to go out, and then a screen can kind of like materialize from it. But I do expect to see a lot of really quick passes or some deep drops because if the Eagles are saying during the joint practice that they had to like all stand up and like push and just to get the like D line back because that's how good the Browns D line was. Like the Bengals I'm sorry, their O line. Yeah, the Eagles O line during the joint practice. The Bengals O line is nowhere near as talented as the Eagles O line. It kind of depends on who you ask, but I think like it's either Browns, Eagles, Eagles, Browns. Like whoever you ask, it's like 1 and 2. Those are your best O lines in the league. And if they're struggling in joint practices when your players are going hard, I can only imagine what the Bengals O-line is going to have to deal with. And Jim Schwartz is a man that likes to blitz. He likes to go nickel blitz, strong safety blitz, you name it, linebacker blitz. And we have guys who can blitz. We have fast guys. Greg Newsome, I think he's going to get really involved in blitzing. I think, Cam Mitchell, they're all fast. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has put on some weight, but he's still maintained his speed. And Grant Delpit's already proved himself as a good blitzing safety. So I think the Bengals are going to have their work cut out for him. And I think offensively for the Browns, they're going to test that secondary early because they lost Von Bell. They lost Jesse Bates. They lost Eli Apple. They have a ton of young guys in the safety position. And I think when you have such refined route running, I mentioned Jesse Bates, you lose all these guys.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I think they're going to load the box early on. And that's why I think we're going to do it's going to be a play action, a shot down the field for a touchdown, I believe. That's
Right.
what I see happening in the first quarter. I think they're going to get one in the beginning of the game. Now, as the game goes on, I think you're going to see a lot of Elijah Moore.
Cloud.
I think you're going to see a lot of Elijah Moore getting a lot of targets. I think you're going to see a lot of David Njoku getting targets, especially in the red zone. I like that matchup there with Njoku in the red zone.
I think we might see some Cedric Tillman packages in the red zone. I think
you
that's where he's going
to. Yeah, I think you might see some of that too. I think too. I agree. You made a good point. I think the Bengals, it's gonna be a lot of quick passing because Joe Burrow hasn't played. He's been out with the injury. It's gonna be a lot of quick passing. That line's coming in hot. They got to really rely on the run game in this game, and I just don't know if that matches up. Well. I just don't think that matches up well with us because I think we'll be solid against the run now with all the personnel he brought in with the new defensive scheme, new coordinator. I think you'll see a lot of Irv Smith Jr. getting a lot of targets. That's their tight end. I think you'll see him. Yeah, I think Irv Smith's going to have. I think Irv Smith will probably have a pretty big game, just because he's going to get a lot of targets. I just don't know. The only thing that it's a close game. That's why I think the biggest thing it could come down to with the close game is how aggressive the shorts get, because you don't want to give Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or even Tyler Boyd a shot at a big play that can potentially win them a game. So I'm really concerned. That's what I'm going to be paying attention to, the balance between his play calling, how aggressive he is and how aggressive he kind of sits back. And personally, I will keep everything underneath. And I would just bet on my front four to get the job done, because I don't think Joe Mixon is going to beat us, and I don't think Irv Smith Jr. is going to beat us either. I will keep everything underneath.
He's going to send 5 down. I guarantee it. That's Jim Schwartz loves to send 5. He's going to send 5. You're going to see Agbo Okonkwo out there with Dalvin Tomlinson and Zadarius Smith and Miles and either Shelby Harris or Ika, whoever he thinks is going to be able to take that double team at that point in time. You're going to see 5. He loves to do that shit because, especially on third down, like he will blitz on third down. He's not scared to. It doesn't matter the yardage at all. And I think he already said how comfortable he is with these DBs. And I think I might have said it on our last podcast, or I said it on a Spaces. I can't quite remember. But I think one of the most upgraded parts of our room in our defense this year is our safety room. I think the additions of Juan Thornhill and Ronnie McLeod are going to make the miscommunications down to near zero. You finally have a true ball hawk in Juan Thornhill. Rodney McLeod was a top 10 safety per PFF last year with the Colts. And I think that room.
A good rookie too.
yeah. And he's right. And he's there if you need him. We're 3 deep at safety. I'm not worried. Right. And, even if Denzel Ward can't play, I'm still not that worried, because you move Greg from the slot to the outside, which he can do, and then you throw either the rookie or Mike Ford or Rodney or whoever the hell you want to play slot. Slot corner is not that difficult of a position to play.
Martin Emerson's a problem for anybody because of how big he is and how fast he can go.
Yeah.
His athleticism to side. He is a problem.
Right. So I'm very excited for this game. I think David Njoku is probably going to have a really big game. I foresee a pretty big game from Elijah Moore, because I think with the young safeties, they're going to try and bracket and double team Amari Cooper as much as possible and take him away, and have those wide receiver 2 and 3 with Donovan Peoples-Jones and Elijah Moore in the tight end room, try and prove to them that they can make plays on their own on one-on-one on an island, which I think that's all you can do defensively with the Browns, because even if you stack the box and you're still getting like gashed by the pass play, then you go in the cloud. And if we have a lead and they move into cloud, you just give the ball to Nick Chubb. He's going to be averaging 8 yards a carry, and that's the game. So
I think too. I think one of my bold predictions for a touchdown is I think Elijah Moore is going to score an end around play.
That'd be awesome.
I do. I think it's going to be a deep shot early on in the game to Peoples-Jones for a touchdown, and I think it's going to be an end around play to Elijah Moore. He's going to take one to the house, probably from about. I'll say they get up to their own. Well, no, they'll get to Cincinnati's about 35, 40, and they'll call the end around on like a second down. Just a trick play.
But
And I think he'll take it to the house.
dare we do stat lines?
Because I think that'll be there. Because I think if they're gonna be worried about Nick Chubb and if they hit a deep ball early, and Deshaun starts showing he's Deshaun and he's lighting it up from throwing 15 plus yards and more. I think eventually that end around play will be there because they're gonna forget about it. They'll be so locked in on the run and locked in on the pass that I think that's the perfect time to call it. That's what you can do with a guy like Elijah Moore. You can use him in very gadgety ways that it makes a defense really just second guess a lot of things. So yeah, we'll get the stat lines. I'll start with Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun's going to throw for. I think Deshaun's going to throw for 305 yards and 2 tutties.
I think, mine's close. I'm going to say 240 yards. I'm going to say 3 touchdowns, but it's going to be 240 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 18 yards rushing, and a rushing touchdown.
Why I'm saying 305 is because I think he's going to have a bomb early in the game, like a long play. So that's why I'm going to 305. But I think in terms of actual like passing, throwing, I agree. I think around 220, 230, I think is reasonable with 2 touchdowns. And an end around, if it's a pop pass, that counts as a touchdown too. So, and I think Nick Chubb will go to Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's going to run for. I'll say Chubb runs for about 95 yards to 100, somewhere in there. I think he scores. I think he scores twice. Or do you think it's
really?
No. I think he scores once. And I'm gonna get to I think my other score prediction. I think we're gonna get a pick 6 because I think the pressure, and I think it's gonna happen at the end of the game. I think the game will come down to where Burrow's got to go down the field from his own 20 off a kickoff, or 25, and I think the pressure at that point, wearing down on that defensive line, wearing down on that O-line all game. I think that's what they'll make a mistake, and I think that's what I can say. I'll just say a pick 6. So yeah. There's always a pick 6 in week 1 games.
Right. I'm going to agree with you nearly on the Nick Chubb. I'm going to say Nick Chubb rushes for a little over 80 yards with a touchdown. I do think that there's a big chance of having a defensive touchdown, especially with the secondary. Something I forgot to mention, too, that I think is going to be funny if the Bengals try it is Deshaun Watson is so good against the blitz. He's so good against the blitz. And
very good at extending plays.
Very good at extending plays, and now we have the players that can get yak everywhere. You got Marquise Goodwin, you got Elijah Moore. Just you got guys that can get yak. So, yeah, my final score prediction. Oh, real quick, let me do defense. I think Myles Garrett's going to finish with 1.5 sacks. I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is going to get half a sack, and I think Zadarius Smith is going to get a sack. And then I also think either Shelby Harris or Dalvin Tomlinson gets a sack.
Damn.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think?
I think we'll sack Joe for at least 4.5.
We'll finish off with the box score. Who do you think leads the team in receiving? I think
Amari Cooper.
You think Amari Cooper? What's the stat line for Cooper?
I think Amari Cooper gets about 80 yards, 85 yards receiving.
I'm going to say Elijah Moore leads the team in receiving with almost 90 yards and about 8 receptions.
Yeah, he'll be my second. I'm going to say Amari Cooper gets about 85 yards. I'm saying Elijah Moore gets about 50. And I think David Njoku is going to have about 30-ish, 35 yards. But I'm going to say he gets a touchdown.
See, I think the Njoku will have about 55 yards. I think off screen. They're going to do that screenplay, all that shit they like calling. So I'm going to go with that. So that's our preview of the game. Now, I do think on Cincinnati's side, I think Joe Mixon runs for about 80 yards and probably 2 touchdowns. I do think they're going to score a little bit because they are a really good team. And I think Joe Burrow throws for 210 yards coming off an injury.
1 touchdown, 1 pick.
And 1 touchdown and 1 pick. And I think Jamar Chase leads the game in Yeah, catches the only touchdown and maybe I'll say a defensive breakdown. He catches a long ball. And leads the team in receptions on, let's say, like 90 yards.
Right.
So.
What I'm excited for is Jim Schwartz will actually probably double team who's ever having a good game.
Yeah, pretty much. So
we didn't know what to do after T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase left. Oh my God. They're lucky I didn't drive a truck through the freaking facility after that press conference. I couldn't believe that shit.
Now we're going to move on to our pick'em part of the show now. So we'll save our prediction before we get to the Browns part of this. We're going to break down each game for this week and who we think is going to win. So let me get the thing on the screen here, Mike. Bear with me. By the way, Mike, you want to give us a grade on that cheesy bread? People are curious. What's the grade on the cheesy bread, Mike?
It is 6.4.
Or is this the food?
Pretty good.
Because I haven't eaten today, so anything I eat is good.
Dude, Jets pizza is pretty solid.
All right. 1 second. All right, so we'll start with Thursday night, Mike. Get a little music going here. We got the Detroit Lions at the Kansas City Chiefs this Thursday night. Now it just got announced. Travis Kelce, what is he out for the game?
You know, it's week 1, so everybody's gonna be playing the poker face, but he's got a hyperextended knee, and he's a route runner. You know, so that's basically saying like he ain't gonna play. So Travis Kelce's out, and I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but I really, and you agree with me on this. We've talked about it. We don't like the Chiefs' passing room at all. You know, you got Kadarius Toney, Rashid Rice, and oh Jesus Christ, I don't even know who else. So I'm gonna take the Lions. Oh yeah, MVS. I actually kind of think MVS is, but I'm gonna take the Lions in a shocker. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie out of Alabama, has a great game, and I think their defense is going to be much improved with the addition of Jack Campbell, who I thought had a great game.
I like Jack Campbell in college. I think he's one of the best linebackers coming out. I agree. I'm going with the Lions. I think the Lions have this game means a little more to them. I think the Chiefs, you know, it's ceremony for the trophy and the banner, blah blah. And, you know, they're not 100% healthy. And I think too, there's a lot of holes in that team still. They lost a lot on defense, lost a lot on offense. Chris Jones is still out. I'm going with Detroit. I think Detroit is a really good team. I think they're a sleeping giant that's been being built for the last couple of years. I think they'll be around for a while, for years to come, especially once they solidify the quarterback position. But I think Goff has done well. So I'm going to go with the Lions as well. I think the Lions will just dominate the line of scrimmage, to be honest with you, Mike. So
I agree with you.
We both got the Lions there. Now on to Corey's Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go with the Falcons at home in a wild game. I think it's going to be a wild game because it's two bad teams. So I'm going to say the Falcons win at home in a close one, maybe like a last-second field goal that Koo makes. I'm going to say 34-31 Falcons.
I'm not going to give a score, but I will go with the Falcons. I will say that Bijan Robinson probably goes for over 100 yards.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm curious to see how Desmond Ridder looks. I'm going to be watching that very
that
close.
Kid is
so what's that?
I was just saying Bijan Robinson looks like an absolute monster.
Yeah, he's going to be a bad dude for a long time. Houston Texans at Baltimore. I think this game's going to be closer than people think, Mike. But I'm going to take Baltimore home. But I'm going to say in a close one. I think it'll come down to one possession game in the fourth quarter. I think
Justin Tucker takes it. Justin Tucker does. I said Justin Tucker does Justin Tucker things to win the game for Baltimore. Bails him out after having a slow start.
I agree. So we both got Baltimore on that one. All right, here we go, Mike. Cincinnati at the Browns. I'll let you go ahead first.
Browns! Not even close!
You got to give a score prediction for this one.
Browns 38. Cincinnati 21.
All right. I say 34-24 Browns. Browns by 10. That's nice. And I think it's a close game going to the fourth quarter. I think a turnover happens, a pick six, and that's how we win the game. So moving on now, Jacksonville to Indianapolis. I think Jacksonville is going to go in there and completely annihilate Indianapolis. I think it's going to be a blowout. I got Jacksonville all the way. So you got Jacksonville as well. All right. Tampa Bay at Minnesota. I think this game's close at halftime, but I think Minnesota completely annihilates them in the second half.
I think Baker Mayfield throws 3 picks.
It might happen. So you got Minnesota as well. I think Jordan Addison has a huge game as a rookie.
Dude, he looks really good.
Yeah, I got him on my fantasy team, so you better have a good game. But Tennessee at New Orleans. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. I'm going to say Tennessee, because I think Vrabel will win this game just by coaching. I think his team will be fired up. I think they're going to get a lot of sacks on Derek Carr. But I do think it's going to be a competitive game. But I'm going to take Tennessee because I think they're a little more experienced with their coaching and their core guys.
I'm going to disagree. I think with the loss of Taylor Lewin, which I know he's been injury prone, but they're missing one of the best tackles they've ever had, and with New Orleans pass rush, I think Derek Carr actually makes the Saints a pretty good team as far as the NFC is concerned. I'm going to take the Saints at home.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 to me. I almost thought about picking the Saints, but I just think that I just think the defense for the Titans will get it done at the end. I don't just personally, but especially with Alvin Kamara. Yeah, and Alvin Kamara's out for a couple weeks, so we'll see how they run the ball. But we'll move on to San Francisco at Pittsburgh, Mike. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I think the Niners smoke them. I think it's just an absolute fucking bloodbath.
Really?
Two really, really good defenses, but I think we're about to see the Steelers' O-line's bad. It's still bad. They've made a bunch of additions, but I think when the regular season comes, maybe Nick Bosa plays, maybe he doesn't, but you still got, Drake Jackson, you still got Eric Armstead, you still got Javon Hargrave now. That defensive line, even without Nick Bosa, is a force. And then you have linebackers Fred Warner and Ponga in the secondary. I think Kenny Pickett struggles, and I think he struggles bad. I think they're going to try and establish the run early, and Najee Harris proves once again he's not that guy. I think the Steelers lose by 2 scores.
Damn, I don't know, man. I think this is the toughest one, maybe, because I can actually see Pittsburgh winning the game, to be honest with you, but I don't think they're going to play bad at home. I think. So is Bosa playing or not? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know.
So it's unknown yet. So we'll probably know tomorrow. So I'm going to say.
I said even if he doesn't play, I say them win about 2 scores.
Who's their Brock Purdy starting?
Brock Purdy's starting. CMC's healthy. Debo's healthy. Everybody's healthy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Niners because it's going to come down to defense. Both teams are going to be good defensively, but I think the Niners have more of proven commodity. Debo Samuel, they're always going to run the ball well just off a scheme. So George Kittle.
Yeah, defensively, I think it's even match, but offensively, they have way more.
They have more proven guys. George Pickens, I think, is going to be a hell of a player, but he's a second-year player. Deontay Johnson's inconsistent, and Najee Harris, that's the only running back they have, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or they have another running, but
Jalen Warren.
Yeah,
who actually looks better.
And I'm not. How's Pittsburgh's O-line to me is a question mark still. So It has been for a while. So I'm gonna take the Niners just because I think they're just a little more balanced of a team. But I could see Pittsburgh winning that. But I'm gonna take the Niners. So Arizona at Washington. To me, it's an easy one. I'm going with Washington at home. I think they win by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm taking Washington. I think it's going to be a blowout. I don't know, by 2 or 3 touchdowns, but they're going to win.
I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be a snooze. I think they'll be close to halftime, maybe, and then the second half, Washington chase you on the defense, and they got some good skill players on offense. I think it'll be a snooze fest in the second half. I'll take Washington. Bears Green Bay at Chicago Bears. I'm taking the Bears. I think Justin Fields has a phenomenal game. I think Justin Fields is going to have a big leap this year. I'm taking the Bears at home by 10.
I'm taking Green Bay by a touchdown. I like Green Bay's defense a lot. I think this finally take the lead. And Jordan Love, I think, is going to be serviceable. I think they're going to go through a full Shanahan style offense, just run the ball out there and Jones. So I think Green Bay takes it. Maybe it's closer than a touchdown. Maybe it comes down to a field goal. But
all right, I'm gonna take the Bears. Like I said, I think Fields is gonna have a big game. Now this is a tough one here. Vegas at Denver. I'm gonna let you go first on this one, Mike, because that's a tough one.
I'm gonna take Las Vegas. The preseason, the Broncos O-line looked paper thin, and I mean, the Raiders still have Max Crosby, they still have Chandler Jones, they got guys in the secondary. Obviously Jimmy Garoppolo is not the greatest in the world, but you still got Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, who's now reporting in camp. I really like the pick of Michael Mayer, great tight end. I'm taking Las Vegas.
Your headphones are breaking out, Mike. You might want to fix that for a second. Your headphones are breaking out a little bit. I'm gonna go.
How about that?
Say something.
Something.
All right, you're good. All right, I'm gonna go with the Raiders as well, because I think Max Crosby is gonna really wreck this game. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Plus, they got Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams. They even drafted Trey Tucker, the rookie receiver. Shout out to Trey from Akron. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Raiders as well. I think they'll win this game. Now we'll see as the year goes on where they go and what their plans are. But yeah, I'll take the Raiders in that one. I don't like Denver's team at all, really, to be honest with you, Mike. Now this game here might be the best game of the day. Miami at the Chargers. This is a tough game here. I'm gonna go with the Chargers at home. I do think it's gonna be a really high scoring affair. I think it's gonna be a shootout. But I'm gonna take the Chargers at home. I'm gonna say like a 45-42 game kind of thing, almost like what we saw Saturday with Colorado and TCU.
I agree. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, and I think Herbert could very well win MVP this year. Big year for LA, Mike. Big year for Brandon Staley as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, glad that they paid Herbert. I didn't know that they were gonna.
Yeah.
Cheap franchise.
All right. Top 5 quarterback maybe in the league. I think maybe probably is top 5 Herbert. Philly at New England. Philly, obviously. I think this game might be 30-0 at halftime, Mike.
Very well could be.
I'm sorry to all my New England family. Love you guys, but I think this is the down year for the really, really down year for the Patriots. I think they might be one of the worst teams in the league when it's all said and done. I also think this might be Bill Belichick's last year and go off in retirement gracefully. It's a great year for him to do that. Yeah, my God. What do you think this is it for New England this year with Bill Belichick? Do you think this is the year they finally go 3-4 win team?
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be. I mean, he doesn't like Mac Jones. I mean, I can't even tell you who their best weapon is. Is it Juju Smith-Schuster? I like that Keyshawn Boot kid out of LSU. My God, their team is. There's so many questions. I definitely think
Ramondre Stevenson's a nice back. Matthew Judon's a hell of a player, but yeah, I agree. They got Christian Barrymore on the front line. The front line's not bad, but I agree. I'm just not offensively. They're gonna be the worst offensive team in the league, I think. To be honest with you, so yeah, I think this game will be over at halftime, 30-0, easy breezy, go home, Philly. So. LA at Seattle. I think this is going to be Seattle, and I think Seattle wins by 13 at home.
Could very well be. I'm taking the Hawks side.
I'm really high on Seattle this year. I think they're going to be really good. Dallas at the Giants, Sunday night.
Dallas.
I'm going with the Giants at home and the upset.
I'm taking Dallas. I think
I'm going with the Giants. You're breaking out again.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I better now?
Now you're good.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I'm going Dallas. I just think they got better defensively. They added Mozzie Smith, who I really liked out of Michigan. They added Stephon Gilmore to that secondary. Still question marks at safety, but I don't love the Giants' offense at all. Like, I really think all Dallas needs to do is take away Darren Waller and it becomes super one-dimensional.
See, I'm not high on Dallas's offense because and I'm not high on their team, to be honest with you. I don't like when the corner's calling their quarterback a bitch in practice and nobody comes and defends them. That's a huge problem.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I still think that.
And I think the Giants are kind of underrated in a way. I don't think Daniel Jones is as bad as people think. I think Daniel Jones is actually solid. If you break down his tape, I think Saquon's going to have a good game. I think my man Paris Campbell's going to have a good game. He's had a really good camp. He's finally healthy. He's in a really good opportunity here to do what he can do. They've been featuring him a lot more. They also brought in tight end Darren Waller. I think there's a lot of ways they can win this game. And I think defensively, the Giants are really actually loaded defensively. You look at it. They just brought in Isaiah Simmons. They got a Kayvon Thibodeau. They got a really loaded front seven. They got some good guys in the back end. I think the Giants will win this game at home. I think Dallas has got a lot of question marks, especially now they brought in Trey Lance. That's another headline. It's going to be lingering. So I'm going with the Giants at home. To me, now the big game. Now this is the biggest game of the week, in my opinion. Buffalo at the Jets. I think the Jets win. I think it's kind of similar to prime time at Colorado this past weekend. They're going to win for Aaron in a big game, in a close game. I think the Jets win at home.
I think Buffalo's. I have been very vocal about how I think the Jets could be the frauds of the year. I don't love their passing attack at all, especially now that Corey Davis is retired. Bruce Hall's still hurt. Their O-line looks awful. Like, awful. Like, they were in joint practice against the Panthers. And I get it. They got Brian Burns. They got Derek Brown. It's a good front five, I'm sorry. Front four. I can't speak. But when your offensive line, is getting, pancaked in joint practice, and it gets caught on Hard Knocks. Robert Saleh being like, "Oh my God, we're not ready to play football." I don't trust Kai Becton. I like Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't like the guards. I don't like their center. I think poor Aaron Rodgers and his 38-year-old legs are going to be scrambling.
I think the center's not bad. McGovern's not bad. I don't think the O-line's as big as a problem as people think it is. I think McGovern's solid. I think Becton's solid. You got another tackle, I think, solid. I'm not as concerned about that. I think Aaron Rodgers makes up for a lot of things anyways. He gets the ball out quick. I think Buffalo has a lot of concerns. I think Buffalo's getting kind of a pass from a lot of people. I think the Stephon Diggs thing is a bigger issue than people think. Especially now that that's public. And it's got escalated in the last couple of weeks. I think that's a problem. And the Buffalo can't run the ball. I mean, if you're relying on Josh Allen to carry you, great player, he can run, but he throws a lot of picks. Can't count him in the fourth quarter. And so, the Jets have a pretty good defense. They're really good, and they can be just as good as anybody. I think the Jets are just as good, if not better. I think too. What's his name on the defensive line? Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is one of the best defensive players in football this year.
Could be. Yeah, I don't believe in that Jets team. I don't see it. That's just me.
I think that can slow down the Jets. When I watch Hard Knocks, the only thing that concerns me about the Jets is you will hit adversity at some point, and I wonder if the too cool, everybody's cool with the coach, culture kind of thing. Aaron's nice with all the guys. When you hit adversity, how are they going to respond? Are they going to start looking at guys differently, or are they going to come together? You know what I mean? I think that's something that could stop them. I think from a talent perspective, though, they're loaded. And right. I'm not worried about these. Garrett Wilson's a top 10 receiver in the league. It looked like it in camp, too. Lazard's got connections with Rodgers. I'm not too concerned about that. I think they're going to bring in another receiver in the middle of the year anyways. So, I'm going to take the Jets, though. I think just at home, no one will get it done. I'm not as high on the Bills. The Bills have been like the Super Bowl darling pick for years, and they just flop every year. So I'm out on them. So I think that's all. Is there another game Sunday night, Mike?
Nope.
Or Monday night? No. Okay, they're not doing doubleheaders here. All right. Yeah. So that's our picks for week 1. Anything else, Mike, before we get out of here? I know it was a big football loaded show. We started off with college, and we went into the Browns, into the pick 'em there at the end. What's your take on the way out of here?
I'm so ready for Sunday. That's all I got to say this week. If I could hibernate till 1 p.m., or no, not 1 p.m. I don't want to miss the coin toss. Until like 12:30 on Sunday, I totally would. Well, we got a couple more days. Come on, Father Time. Let's make it happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to some of these later games on Sunday, and obviously the game Monday night. But I'm also, I'm very excited for Sunday as well. It's gonna be a big day for Cleveland sports. I'm really curious to see how, I expect the atmosphere is gonna be electric, but it's gonna be really surreal, I think, to finally see it all come together. Finally, hopefully, with Jim Short, you got the coordinator now. You rebulked the defense, and you finally got your franchise, what you think is your franchise quarterback. And so, can we just see it all come together finally?
Hell yeah.
One big, beautiful day in Cleveland, Ohio.
I believe. Go Browns.
Mike believes. All right. Well, Mike believes, folks. Mike, you got any more speeches on the way? You got anything else you want to get off your chest? You got a book of the week? We haven't done that in a while. You got a book you're reading, or you still do a book?
Not. I've been.
No, you've been on Madden. Madden of the week.
Madden, yeah, I'm on my franchise. I got the Browns to AFC Championship. We're playing the Raiders. We're up 34-3, and I play the sim. I play pro sim. I ain't weak. I play the hardest difficulty.
He ain't weak, folks. But
not weak.
You're not weak, but all right, Mike. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one. You want to salute on out of here, Mike? We'll give a go Browns on the way out of here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Mike, you they need to like, subscribe, and share. You want to tell them why they need to do that?
Right. What the hell is wrong with you? Do it. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with your preacher, your pastor, your imam, your rabbi, whatever you got going on. Share it. And like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Go Browns.
Sharing is caring. Go Browns.
Sharing is caring. Yeah, go Browns. We'll see you guys in the next one. We're out of here.
See you in the next one.
Down.